Okay, so hello, Assalamu alaikum students. This is your teacher Azka, and today we are going to do the case study 1 and 2 for FAB March paper 2024. Okay, so we have the first case study. So if you see that in the first case study we have the ML computers. Oh, so this is not the first, this is the second case study. So this is the first case study. Okay, so the first case study is about the Zoe's bags. Okay, and the case study is about that Zoe's Bags is an online retailer that makes and sells a range of luxury handmade bags. So we know like there is very less operating cost for the online retailers, and also like there are you can see that almost zero cost of operating cost for the online retailers, and they also make different range of luxury handbag. And we also know one more thing, that all the handmade things we can sell for the higher prices. Business was set up 3 years ago as a partnership by Zoe and her brother Louis and has grown each year. So it means that this is kind of a successful business, and that is why it's been only 3 years. And if you see that most of the time, the initial 2 years is very crucial for all types of the business, because you can say that the initial 2 years having a very high risk of failure of businesses. But it's been 3 years that this partnership business has set up, but it is growing each year. So this is a positive sign. So bags are targeted at a niche market and made to customers' order. So it means that customers maybe place orders on their websites, or maybe different online platforms, and now basically they made the bags according to the customers' needs. So we can easily say that yes, this is the main reason that why this business is growing yearly. The business works closely with its main supplier of raw materials. ZB operates a just-in-time inventory management system. So we know that there are different benefits of GIT, but yes, there are different disadvantages of GIT also. But in this particular question, no question is asked about the GIT. The question is very basics, and there is nothing related to the any exclusive question about the GIT. So all bags have lead time of 5 days from when the customer submits the order. So it means that whenever any uncertainties may be incurred, so at that time it would be difficult for them to complete the order in 5 days. So maybe at that time they will be having more lead time, and this can also worsen because they are using JIT. So that's why maintaining the relationship with the supplier is very much important for the Zoe's bag. Following a magazine advertising promotion in January, orders grew 50% in Fab to 1,400 bags. So it's basically 50% grew. So this is also a very positive advantage of promotion. So it means that this advertising promotion worked for them. Zoe and Lewis found it difficult to organize a larger production team. So it means that they must having a very large production team, and since because their business is labor intensive, because they are selling handmade bags, and this is also a reason that they have a very high, large production team, and their GIT and their all you can say reputation of their bags is basically depends upon their production team. So let's see, like there is a break even chart. So in the break even chart, if you see that this is the constant line, and we know the constant line is showing us the fixed cost. So it means that $25,000 is basically fixed cost for the Zoe's bag, and this line is representing us the total cost. And we can say that the total cost is somewhere between um, $48,000 to $50,000. So this is the total fixed cost, total cost for um, total cost for the Zoe's bag. And if you see its revenue, so its revenue is somewhere we can say that maybe they're selling 60,000 number of 60,000, so I see is not number of products. Number of goods is basically 1,400 quantity which they are selling right now. So if we find out that where it is break even point, so we know that whenever uh, the break even, wherever the cost and your revenue is intersecting, so this point would call the break even point. So it means that the break even point is $1,000. So it means that if they are selling $1,000, so they will be making no profit and nor loss. Okay. Um, if you want to see its margin of safety, so we know that whatever the current output level, which might be 1,400 number of units, so it means that the distance between 1,000 number of units and 1,400 number of units defines us the margin of safety. Okay. And we have other information that due to increase in orders, Zui and Lewis wants to focus on developing the business. So now basically they are going to expand their business, and this would be very difficult for them to cope with the quality, because we know that whenever the business is going to expand, so one thing which is very difficult for most of the business is that handling and retaining the quality. So they recruited two supervisors to manage the 15 production employees, because they want to focus on their new business strategy. They want to expand, and that is why they don't want to take a lot of pressure that how to handle these 15 production employees and how to look after them. So that is why they want to hire two supervisors, so that they will be managing their 15 production employees, because these production employees is very much important for them. But yes, if this business is developed, so maybe at some point they will be capital intensive. To support the new supervisors, Lewis organized some of the job training, and all production employees are currently paid a salary. However, ZB's labor turnover has increased recently. So if it is increasing, so there might be different reasons behind that. Maybe this is happening because they are having low pay. Maybe this is happening because the poor leadership style of Zui's and Lewis. Like there are different reasons behind this. So one of the new supervisors has recommended that ZB should introduce performance related pay. So this is the suggestion of the new supervisor. So Zoe and Lewis are currently considering their recommendation. So the thing is, which is very much important here, that how many years of experience this new supervisor have, because this is very important. Because if this person is inexperienced, so it means that his suggestion would not fruitful for the ZBs. So now let's see its question. So the first question is about that identify one feature of GIT inventory management. And the second question is that explain the term niche market. B part is that refer to figure 1.1, and the other information calculate the margin of safety in FEB. And we already have calculated the margin of safety. Explain one way that Zoe and Lewis can use break-even analysis. And C part is that analyze two benefits to ZB of providing off-the-job training to the new supervisors. So we have to analyze the two benefits. If ZB provide the off-the-job training to the new supervisors, so what type of benefits ZB would be having in future? And the D part is that evaluate whether ZB should introduce performance related pay. So it means that we have to support this view and we have to negate this view. It means that we will be writing pros and cons for performance related pay. And at the end, we will be concluding our answer, but in context. Okay, so first question was about that we have to identify the one feature of GIT. So because since we need to identify only, So that's why I written here the increases efficiency. This is one of the feature of GIT. And the second question was that explain the term niche market. So niche market is a specific portion of the market's demographics and target audience. So here I have completed my knowledge marks. But because this question was for 3 marks, so that means that I have to write its application from the case. So for example, ZB producing luxury bags targeting high income earners as an example of the niche market. And in the C part, we have to calculate the margin of safety. So this is a formula of margin of safety. You can maybe write current levels of sales before then break-even units. So current levels of sales minus break-even units, this is a formula of margin of safety. So 14,000 minus 10,000, so this would give us 14,000 answer for the number of units, which would be margin of safety. It means that um, after 10,000 number of units, we are basically making profit, and there is $4,000, 4,000 number of units margin of safety. It means that we have a lesser risk to fall in the break even and maybe in losses. And the third question was about that how break even is important for us. I think that was the question, but I think we should reread the question again. So if, as you can see that the second part is saying that explain one way that Zoe's and Lewis can use the break even analysis. So first of all, we have to say that what is a break even. So this is optional if you want to write it. So just that's your choice. But we only need to describe the way that how this would be useful. So break even is point at which revenue and total cost are same, meaning ZB is making neither profit nor a loss. ZB can use it analyze that how many bags they need to sell to ensure profits. It can also used by ZB to analyze the risk by measuring the margin of safety, which is 4,000 number of units, showing less riskier. And the second question was about we have to analyze the benefits to business to ZB using off-the-job training for their supervisors. So first of all, we have to write the definition for off-the-job training. Now this is your choice if you want to write it. So you can free to write you are free to write the definition of the job training at the start. So off-the-job training refers to an educational method where employees learn more about their job or the latest advancements in their field at a location away from their workplace. So this is your knowledge marks. Okay. And now I'm going to now I'm going to analyze my answer in context. So implementing of the job training programs boost ZB supervisors engagement and retention. So as you can see that I'm using the business name and using the name of supervisors. So this is also my application. Investing employee growth foster sense of loyalty and commitment. Here I am analyzing my question in context. It leads to higher job satisfaction and more engaged workforce. In turn, engaged employees are more productive and motivated. ZB grew 50% orders. The productivity of ZB supervisors will drive company performance further. And maintain this growth cost would reduce to leads to a competitive advantage to ZB in luxurious packs market. So here I have done with my first analysis point. So if you see the second one, the second advantage would be that employer benefit from improved work quality. As a result of the job training, trained supervisors bring enhanced skills and knowledge to their roles. So this application directly leads to high quality of ZB's work output. Since ZB is planning to grow, so maintaining quality seems to be greater challenge for them, as I said earlier. So in return, improvement in work quality leads to increase in customer satisfaction. This is all my analysis point, which will boost the demand over 50% in future. ZB will see fewer errors and more efficient workflow. Ultimately, it may contribute to the organization's overall success and reputation. So here I have linked my analysis point with the business success. And the second, the last question was about that we have to whether ZB should apply the PRP. It means the performance related pay for their production labors or not. So again, first of all, you have to write the PRP definition. So performance related pay is a system of compensation in which a portion of an employee's pay it tied to their performance on the job. So first of all, I have started analyzing my point, but with however, it means that in this paragraph we want to balance our argument. So if employee will get PRP, they will feel that they are being fairly compensated for their work. This is the analysis. They are likely more motivated and engaged in their jobs. Additionally, higher pay can lead to lower turnover. This is now I'm linking the benefit with the impact, which is main problem of ZB as employee. May be less likely to leave the job with a good salary. But however, it is important to note that pay alone is not the only factor influencing the performance because we have to talk about the other things and also we can talk about its limitation. So a positive, this is my further analysis, or you can say a two-sided analysis. So a positive work culture, good leadership of ZB's supervisor, and clear communication can also affect employee performance. Now, I use the second paragraph because I have to write at least two pros and two cons with however point because however point is basically the cons for using PRP. ZB is used just in time inventory and it takes 5 days to submit the order. This is my application. Whenever I am taking out the example from the case, this is my application and why when I am writing its the you can say the um, impact of different benefits on the business. So this is my analysis. So order which can be delayed further by production employees. If they are having poor morale, PRP will may set a culture of continuous improvement. While the cause of motivation at work can vary from employee to employee, financial rewards can be an effective motivator. So when employees realize that meeting certain performance expectations can result in higher pay, it can push them to work hard and develop their skills to meet those goals. Furthermore, these types of policies can also boost morale at work because it shows employees that you want to see them succeed and reward their hard work. However, PRB affects teamwork. If production employees strives to meet objectives based on their performance as individuals, they may focus less on being teammate to fellow employees. So this is my second analysis. Like however point, like I am writing its con. So I am also using the application. If you see that I have taken out one example from the case. So for example, if in future ZB will give tasks to the team of production employees to work on unique design of luxury bag so that they can come up with unique ideas. So you may it means that the ZB may retain customer retention in growing competitive online market. So maybe the production work solely improve their own skills or productivity rather than assisting a struggling colleague. In some situations, the ability of one employee to fulfill their task may rely on the performance of another employee. So conflicts may arise if employees feel that everyone contributes equal efforts, which will decline their morale, leading to higher turnover. So I have made the change and I am linking it with the problems and with the objectives of the business. That how this would be create negative effect for the business objectives. So high turnover, high hiring cost, and training cost, which will make partners of ZB difficult to focus on expansion strategy for business because this is the main focus for this ZB business nowadays. So now I have to conclude my answer that whether they should introduce PRP or not. But I have to raise the question on my own choices. It means that I have to talk about the other factors which can influence my given choice. So in conclusion, PRP would be important for ZB as they want to take less stress of production department. so they can focus on other strategical goals, because it can help align employees goals with organization. So it will help ZB to incentivize stronger performance from employees and increase productivity, while it may involve fewer extra cost. So whenever you are concluding your answer, giving recommendation, so you have to write again the negative answers, and again you have to talk about the other internal or external factors which will be influence your choice. This would be your evaluation part. So it will help ZB. Okay. So few extra cost when done properly, PRP can help to bring new life in ZB's operational success, because operational success is very important to expand further. Before investing in this method of incentive, however, ZB should consult with the other supervisors, because this is the advice from only one supervisors. But in the case study, they have talked about the two supervisors which they are going to hire. So it means that taking Meyer for the PRP, only listening the one supervisor suggestion is not a good option. So that's why they have to consider other supervisors, all relevant factors as part of their decision making process. Ultimately, at the end of the day, it is up to supervisors to make the right call for production employees, especially when considering whether performance related pay is right for production employees or not. So, this was my conclusion part. So, now we are going to see the second case study. So, this is my second case study. So MLC is a successful private limited company that has been trading for 20 years in country K. So it means that um, they maybe have been achieving the economies of scale because it's been 20 years, and it might be happen because maybe they are having economy of scale and they have increased their production level. The company makes a range of laptops computers. It is a market leader in the highly competitive market. So this is a plus point. MLC is developing a new touchscreen computer that will use latest technology. Initially, secondary market research was carried out, followed by the primary market research. The market research data suggested a high potential demand for the new touchscreen computer. So it means that they should invest in new computer, because the data is showing us that in the future the demand for the new computer would be getting higher, and this would give them an extra edge to retain their position as a market leader in the competitive market. So marketing manager is planning the launch of new touchscreen computer using price skimming, and there's a question related to price skimming, so we will be answering it later. So all computers are made in MLC's two factories in country K. Operations are capital intensive, and new machinery is needed for manufacture the new touchscreen computer. So here you can see that they need to raise a finance in order to manufacture the new touchscreen computer. Maria, the managing director, decided to use leasing for the new machinery. So if they are confirmed about the raising demand of the new computer, so they can purchase their own machinery also. So MLC has 350 employees. One of its objective is to reduce labor turnover to 8% by 2026. Labor turnover rates currently vary across the two factories. Labor turnover for factory A is currently 14%. Table 2.1 shows the employees data for factory B. So this is the data for factory B. So total number of employees who are working in the factory B is 200, and out of 225 workers basically left during the year. Maria is majority shareholder with 55% of shares. She is concerned about the future growth of the company. So she is basically having a larger share of this MLC. Over the next 3 years, she plans to launch 5 new computers using the latest technology. So here you can see again that converting its PVT limited into the PLC is very important here, because she is going to launch 5 new computers in 3 years. Because the question is about, if you see the D part, that evaluate whether MLC should change from a private limited company to a public limited company. That is why I'm saying the importance that why we should convert in the PLC. So, at a recent board meeting, Maria proposed that the company changes the ownership of the business to a publicly limited company. Okay. So, first question is that identify one secondary market research source, explain the term leasing, refer to table 2.1 and other information, calculate a difference in labor turnover between factory A and factory B. Explain one advantage to MLC of low labor turnover. Analyze one disadvantage and one disadvantage to MLC of using price skimming to launch the new touchscreen computer. And the last question I have already read that evaluate whether MLC should change from a private limited company to a PLC. Okay, so let's see its solution. So in first question, they ask us about to write the source of secondary market research. So I have written the government publications. This is um, the secondary source, secondary research source. And in the second question, they have asked about the leasing. So first of all, we have to write its definition, and after we have to use application from the case. So a lease refers to a contract where one party grants a right to use property or land to another party in return for consideration and for a specific of a period of time. Both the parties enter into a release agreement specifying the terms and conditions of the agreement. So this is the knowledge mark. For example, MLC is going to develop a new technology touch screen, and for that, new machinery would be needed. And Maria, the manager director, going to lease the machinery. So this is my application. So I've got 2 marks for the knowledge and 1 mark for the application. And the C part is that we have to find out a difference between the labor turnover factory A and factory B. So factory A turnover was 14%, but for factory B, the answer we have to convert it in the percentage because the total number of employees who are working in factory B is 200 and employees who left, which is 25. So first of all, we have to convert it into the percentage. So if we want to convert it, so you have to multiply 25 with the 100 and divide with the base, which is 200. So the answer is 12.5%. But we have to find out a difference of factory A and factory B turnover. So factory A turnover was 14% and factory B turnover is 12.45%. So 1.5% is the difference. Okay. And this question was about um, that how the low labor turnover would be beneficial for the uh, MLC. So low employee turnover can reduce the equipment and training cost, increase productivity and quality of touch screen computers, enhance reputation and a brand image of MLC as it is market leader. And the E part is that benefit of price skimming. Okay, so gaining a higher return on investment, this is the first advantage. Okay, so since there is a high investment required to launch new touchscreen computers, so by charging price skimming can potentially improve your return on investment when releasing a product. So selling at a high rate to early adopters allows the MLC to increase the profit margin for the initial units of computers. Demand is high and also reduce the risks of high investment in primary market research. And the second part, that using price skimming approach for a product release can help MLC establish brand for touchscreen computers. Having a great market share is a plus point for MLC. By charging high prices at release, MLC can give an expression to its customers that their new launch touchscreen computers are also high quality. Earning a reputation as a premium touchscreen computer manufacturers may allow MLC to charge higher prices for current and future 5 products which Maria is going to announce in next 3 years. Not 5 years, 3 years. Okay, so we have done with the this part also. This is the 8 marker question. And the last question is about that should be turned into the PLC or not. So first of all, we have to write the definition for PLC or PVD. This is your choice. So PLC is a business that is managed by directors and owned by the shareholders. A public limited company can offer shares to the public. So the first one is that turning PVD limited company into a public limited company, the most obvious advantage of having the ability to raise share capital from selling shares into the market. Since MLC going to manufacture the innovative touchscreen computers, which might needed a huge finance, taking loan from bank, paying high interest rate is not a suitable option, though. But selling shares and raising capital from shareholders would be a great option to fund the new machinery and further cost, which involve in the manufacturing, testing, and launching new computer screen. So, however, selling shares into the market means ownership and control issue will arise, and which will lead to conflicts between decision making, leading to underperformance of MLC. And the second paragraph would be that it's been 20 years that MLC established, and also MLC is a marketing leader. Putting a PLC behind MLC can increase the value of their brand and open new opportunities for MLC that would build confidence in prospective customers, suppliers, and business partners, making it easy for MLC to get into international markets in future and negotiate better terms with supplier, which can decrease costs also. It can also make them unable to obtain other forms of finance like huge bank loans and debentures, as lenders may be more willing to deal with the PLC, which would beneficial for MLC's future growth strategy. However, there is a higher setup cost required to become PLC that would be difficult for the MLC at the launch time of the new touchscreen computers. MLC have to pay obligation is being listed on the stock exchange. MLC have to incur fees from the professional advisors if MLC want to list on the stock exchange market. So as you can see that I am applying my answer and I am analyzing it very well. This is how you have to do. Okay. So in conclusion, MLC should change its legal structure into PLC because it's been 20 years. It's been working as PVT, so now it is high time to conversion. And the finance is highly needed by the MLC for new touchscreen computers, and forecasted demand is also high. Since MLC is market leader, so most of the potential investors would be ready to invest in business. Also, Maria is going to plan growth in next 3 years with 5 new touchscreen computers, so it would not possible without investment for future growth. But the other factors, however, now it depends that whether Maria would be able to share 55% of shares to the shareholders because she is having 55%, and also the consent of other existing shareholders also very important. Would they sacrifice their hard-earned reputation in 20-year span of time and its higher profit margin to the new shareholders without doing any effort? MLC major objective is reducing the labor turnover. We have seen this in the case. So would it be clash with the potential shareholders objectives because they will be targeting their own objective, which would be increasing the wealth of the shareholders. But if you see that their main problem and their main objective was in decreasing the labor turnover in 2000 till 2026, so maybe that might be clash. MLC is in a competitive market by turning into PLC. And why it will be clash? Because if you want to reduce the labor turnover, so maybe you have to incur a lot of costs, giving them some higher wages and giving them some discounts, not discounts of non-financial rewards, and that is why that would declining the profit margins and hence the declined dividend. So that's why your potential shareholders objective would be clash with this business objective. So MLC in a competitive market by turning into PLC, will it be possible to retain market leader image in future? Because we know that whenever a company is going to extend its operation, so most of the time they will be facing different diseconomies of scale, and for that reason, and especially if you are dealing in the competitive market, so it would be very difficult for you to maintain your market leader image. So if it will be converted into PLC, so will it be possible to retain the market leader image in future? Also, because expansion, there are other online established businesses because they are very competitive market. So yes, um, this is for it, and I try to solve all the question very well for you. And if you have any question related to anything, So you can ask to me under the comment section.